You never know what you're missing if you're not listening. 980 WCAP. Everybody gets it.
Good morning, listeners, and welcome back to the Internet Marketing and Business Solutions radio show with Ron Couming of both RCS Technology Solutions and RCS Online Solutions, where we help business owners and entrepreneurs achieve even greater success by attracting, converting, and retaining their ideal customers and clients using various Internet marketing techniques and methods. The purpose of this show is to help business owners and entrepreneurs cut the learning curve from X amount of years to maybe months by bringing on subject matter experts who have already been there and done that in several different various fields. By hearing their stories, where they were and where they are and how they got there, it should help you learn how to get there as well. And that's basically the whole point of the show, and also to bring you different people who you might be able to contact after and help you achieve even greater success. Our first guest today is Dr. Nancy Zare, and she is a psychologist who teaches professionals how to get into the heads of their prospects, build rapport quickly and authentically, and close the deal. She has studied successful sales professionals and knows exactly why they excel. More importantly, she can teach it to you. She is also the author of the book, How Not to Lose the Sale and Gain It Back in 5 Easy Steps. Nancy is the CEO of Rapport Builderz and past president of the NSA, which is the National Speakers Association of New England. She is also certified in the B.A.N.K sales training systems and peak potentials training. She is experienced in both direct sales as well as B2B selling. Her clients include numerous entrepreneurs, realty companies, financial firms, and associations. Nancy has the gift of taking complex information and simplifying it. Her special talent is being able to identify the nuggets and present them with clarity and pizzazz. She resides in Framingham, loves animals, and enjoys gardening and swimming. Nancy, how are you today?
I am fabulous. How are you doing, Ron?
Excellent. That was a heck of a bio.
It was. I was thinking to myself, so when does it end? When does it end?
Yeah. Normally, I don't know what. Normally, I would have cut it at the first paragraph because it was just so impactful. But also letting people know that you're an author and the past president of the NSA, the National Speaker Associations. I think that edifies you, and it also, in the eyes of the listeners, it just gives more credibility on why they should listen and pay attention, because so many others before them have, and if they have and they've benefited, then certainly our listeners can as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. So even though I read that bio, now we've met many times, and we actually met, weren't we just at another event in Vegas or something together?
We sure were. So, yes, we share some common pursuits, the pursuit of excellence, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. I travel probably once or twice a month. I'm in another state attending or putting on different events. I speak on Internet marketing, but I also go to a lot of different events and listen to anybody else, including people in marketing and any other field, because once you think you know everything, I like to say arrogance equals ignorance. So I'm always trying to learn and grow so I can not only learn and grow as a person in the services I provide, but also I can pass that on to the people that I work for. And I assume that's pretty much the case for you as well.
Right. Well, and I definitely see that dedication in you. As you said, we've seen each other at several different educational events. So, yeah, you're top-notch, Ron.
Well, thank you very much, but I'm supposed to be interviewing you. You're top-notch.
Mutual Admiration Society, right?
Exactly. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go have a coffee. But no, kidding. But let's give some meat to the listeners. Let's talk about a little bit now. Your bio was pretty cool, and it gave a lot of information. But when you say that you teach people how to build rapport and rapport quickly and authentically, can you tell us a little bit about your process and why it's needed, and then maybe maybe one or two steps on how they can accomplish that?
Well, happy to. Most people are aware. In fact, they've probably heard that sales is a numbers game and that it takes a lot of no's before you get a
yes.
And that's not so. It's a numbers game if you don't know how to build rapport, if you're out of rapport with your prospect. I have an expression in my company, when there's no rapport, there'll be no sales, but when you know rapport, you'll know sales. And rapport is the fundamental ingredient needed to bring people together and to do business successfully. So my whole business is built around that one aspect, how to develop and build that rapport quickly and authentically that can lead to good communication and doing business together.
That's excellent, and I agree with you. In order to really connect, we hear it in different groups and in life. People need to know, like, and trust you. I mean, at the end of the day, there are probably 10 people or more within 50 miles of us providing the exact same services. What sets us apart? And a lot of that can be our IP, our intellectual property, or something that really distinguishes us. But more often than not, it's meeting an individual person or a group of people and being real, raw, and relatable and connecting with that person or a group of people. And that's what will set you apart, because they get to meet you, they see that you're authentic, and then you can move on from there. And I'm kind of guessing that's what you do?
That is exactly it. And sometimes I refer to it as bedside manner. People seem to understand that concept. Like you said, why would I do business with you if the same sort of service or product is available, in the same building, around the corner, across the street? So what is it that's going to connect us and we do business together? And that to me is what rapport is all about. Do our personality styles jibe so that the other person feels we're alike? And I call that quality alikability. So I coined that word, alikability. It's not in the dictionary, although maybe one of these days it will be. It's about raising the perception, the feeling, the thought that we're alike. Because when we're alike, my sales resistance drops away, my guard is lowered, my trust builds, and now we can do business together. Does that make sense?
Yep, and I agree with you. It's like, and sometimes when you go to these events, you'll hear people talk, and as they talk, they say, all right, but can I tell you a little bit about who I am? And they usually raise their right or left hand for whatever reason. But it's called the hero's journey. Because when you're on a stage or you've been edified or there's a distance between us and them. So when you get up there and you talk and then you give that hero's journey, that is where they get to see that you are like them, but you are like them, but you have learned whatever tips or techniques or methods that you're now going to share with them, and this is what's going to help them elevate.
Perfect. That's well stated. And the hero's journey is kind of like it's that story, that personal story. And like you said, it helps somebody recognize, wow, you had similar circumstances. They were difficult. You overcame them. What is it that made you able to overcome them? Maybe that could help me too.
Yep. And that's excellent. So now, if somebody's, let's say that there are 3 different levels here. Let's say that somebody's just starting out in business. Somebody's been in business a year, maybe 18 months, have had some success, but they want to take it to the next level. And then the third level would be somebody who's been in business 3 to 5 years, and they really want to take it to the next level. So can we just give some maybe tips on how the first group of people, and maybe the tips will apply to all or some to each other, and you can let us know that. But what are some of the steps that people can take right from the very beginning to start to build that rapport with their customers and clients?
So usually that for that person who's just starting out, there's a good chance that he or she will learn about the fact that the way to bring in new people other than your warm market people you already know is to go to networking events. And so off they go to the Chamber of Commerce, or they go to some other meetup or community group, and they're all excited about being there, because, wow, these are possible candidates for my service. And often they make the biggest mistake, Ron, which is they throw their business card at the other individual. They've never established a relationship. They've never established a need or want on the part of the other person. And unfortunately, they leave that individual with a feeling of, I don't want to meet this person or do business with them at all. Do you know the kind I mean?
Yeah, and in the industry, we call that spraying and praying. They just spray their cards out and pray that somebody's going to call them.
Exactly. So my biggest suggestion there is, again, you have to build rapport. It's about developing a relationship. And so it's more important to take somebody's card and then decide to pursue and, individually and meet with them and develop a relationship. It's more important to take their card than to give out yours.
Yeah,
that would be my tip.
Yep. All right, that is for the new person.
A new person.
Okay,
now, the person who's been in business 12 to 18 months is actually my ideal candidate. And the reason for that is because he or she has been in business long enough to know that the phone only works one way, outbound. There's no inbound calls coming. And this is usually when they begin to wonder, well, what am I doing? How do I increase my business and really get to that stage where people are looking to talk with me? They know enough to know that they're not getting business successfully. And this is where you had mentioned earlier about cutting the learning curve. I cut the learning curve in terms of developing rapport and helping people become your clients. And I do that by helping you talk the language of the buyer. What is that person thinking, feeling, valuing, so that you can connect with them authentically and quickly and can move them towards doing business together. That's what I teach.
That's huge.
It is huge. And again, it takes about 12 months in business for somebody to recognize, holy moly, I'm not able to do this as successfully as I thought. Just having a license, a credential, a job niche does not ensure that people are going to reach out and use my service.
Nice. Now that's the second level, correct?
Right, that's our second level. So the tip for them is you do need to invest in training. You do need to invest in learning how to close sales, learning how to, move a relationship from that beginning stage to the stage of, let's do business together.
Nice. Okay.
And then our third stage, which is the person who's been in business a while and is having success, well, these are the people who, honestly, they don't want to miss any tool in the toolkit. You're like that, Ron, and that's why you go to so many educational programs, why you invest in your mind, because as Benjamin Franklin said, no one can ever take that away from you. So the more education you have, the more knowledge, the more training, information, that's yours to keep forever. And so this is the person who wants to learn every nuance. And obviously they're going from good to excellent.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. And also Jim Rohns has talked about, you work harder on yourself than you do on your job. So, yep, I agree on that. So if you want to advance in life, in business, but in life, whether it's, business or relationships or whatever, invest time and effort in yourself and develop yourself and, focus on that more than just what you do. And overall, you're going to attract a whole lot more business and whatever relationships or friendships you have, too. They're also going to benefit by having a more productive and efficient and effective communication skills or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So those are the 3 tips that I'd be giving people at their different stages.
All right, excellent. So tell us a little bit, and I want to let the listeners know that this episode is archived, so if you're unable to or were unable to write down the previous tips and also what Nancy's going to share with us going forward, you can always visit my website, rcstechnologysolutions.com, as well as the radio station's website, w980wcap.com, and in like 2 days or so, these clips will be up, so you'll be able to listen to them again at your convenience, and we'll get Nancy's contact information soon. But what would be your ideal customer or client, and how could you help them?
So I look for that person who has already invested in their occupation. They have an educational degree or a graduate degree. They have certifications or licenses in their field. And so these are people in the financial and legal arenas, generally speaking. I also work with entrepreneurs who are providing services. Those are my best candidates. And as I said, I help them distinguish themselves by being able to talk the language of their prospect, which puts people at ease, builds trust, and leads to doing business together.
All right. Now, some people on a very superficial level might say that, well, if my prospects are speaking English and I speak English, we're already speaking the same language. So could you maybe be a little clearer on how you help them?
Well, as it turns out, there are 4 ways that people are wired to make decisions, and we make the mistake that just because they're using the same language as ourselves, that somehow they're thinking and processing and taking in information in the same way. So, quick example: some people make decisions based upon doing a lot of research, and they have to know every little bit. In fact, they have to get their PhD in your field before they can hire you. Another person is a very quick decision maker, and it's all about the experience, the excitement, the adrenaline rush. And if they think that you can give them a solution quick, ASAP, they don't need details. They just want that done for them and do it fast. Those are 2 really drastically different ways that people make decisions. And if you don't know which person you're speaking with, obviously how you're talking to them can turn off. You don't mean to, but it can definitely turn someone off.
That's huge. And like I said, I do digital marketing, internet marketing, and part of the process is writing content and copy for people. And when you can tailor your content and your copy to a specific audience, I know that my customers, and we do that for our customers, and they've achieved significant success. So what you help people do is virtually the same, but via their conversation. But I'm assuming that the skill set they learn will also help them, whether they're writing a blog or scripting for a video or something. Correct?
Oh, absolutely, including, like you said, website content. I actually have worked with people in the marketing sphere to help them formulate, again, a strategy and approach to attract your ideal client. Because, again, when you spray like you say, spray and pray doesn't work. You get rich when you niche, and people need to know exactly who it is they're going after and tailor their message so that they're attracting the right clients.
That's excellent. And that's so important because there's so much people are getting. They said, and this was years ago, that people get an average, certainly business people, 144 emails a day. I get that when I wake up. It's already in my box, so I'm probably around 500 a day. So it gets to a point where sometimes I don't even bother reading and most of the time I don't. I just come out and I just look on the left who it's from, and then I might glance over, and I'll get some from Macy's and Express and all these other ones, and I just delete them, right? But when we get this much information, I mean, sometimes people's emails aren't even getting read. So what you're helping them with, if I'm hearing you correctly, is learning how to develop a system to cut through, or at least assist them in cutting through all that clutter and have a higher probability of actually reaching somebody. And then once they reach them, because they're speaking to them in a way that's, you know, more effective and efficient, that they have a higher likely of actually having them as a customer and client and be able to serve them.
Yeah, let me give a quick example of what happened over the weekend. One of my clients contacted me, and she was concerned. This was Friday. She was very concerned that she had met with a prospect. He seemed excited about what they had discussed, but then when she followed up with information that he'd requested, it had been now over a week, and she had gotten nothing back. She'd also tried him by phone and no response, and she was saying, so what have I done wrong? What can I do? Well, when we analyzed his style is that fast, quick, etc. And so I recommended to her that what she do is text him. And as soon as she texted him, within the hour she got a response and got the deal done.
Nice. That's excellent. And yeah, and that goes in, you have to recognize a person's buying approach based upon if somebody says, well, okay, show me, then their visual, or they want to hear it or something, then their audio, and then that goes into a whole other field. But you help people with that as well?
Well, my focus is really in helping people connect based upon buying style, personality style. People, I'm sure, are familiar with programs like DISC or Myers-Briggs or Performax. There are over 200 personality systems like that, colors, animals, shapes, etc. I help people look through the lens of their prospect. I understand, again, the values behind that decision-making style, that buying style, so that they can match it, which is where the person feels comfortable with them, and that leads to opening communication and doing business together. And I help my clients figure out the other person's style within 30 to 60 seconds. The quicker you know their style, the quicker you talk from that style, the quicker and more easy they feel about dealing with you.
Excellent. I love it. All right, we're down to like 2 minutes or so. Could you possibly give the listeners your contact information and any closing points?
All right, great. It's Dr. Nancy Zare. The last name is spelled Z for Zestful, A-R-E. My phone number where you can text or call is area code 508-981-2315, and I have a gift for anyone who would like to text that number, and that is the 4 magical questions that build rapport quickly with each of the personality styles. So they're guaranteed to bring you rapport.
Excellent. And again, listeners, you'll be able to go to the archives in a couple of days at 980 WCAP, the radio station's website, as well as mine, RCS Technology Solutions, and get that information as well as listen to this episode again. Nancy, I want to thank you so much for being a great guest today.
Oh, you're welcome, Ron, and you're doing a terrific job. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. And listeners, you've been listening to the Internet Marketing and Business Solutions radio show with Ron Couming of both RCS Technology Solutions and RCS Online Solutions, where we help business owners and entrepreneurs achieve greater success by attracting, converting, and retaining their ideal customers and clients.